We've got Zach in Chicago. Zach, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What would you like to talk about?
All right, so I am a young, liberty-minded individual, I guess you can call me.
Okay.
All right.
I live in the Chicago area, and my problem that I've been having a lot, I know you guys have talked about this before, kind of like sounding cynical and like an negative whenever you talk about freedom to people. I'm having trouble getting my message out to people without sounding kind of cynical and mean. Like, I don't know if you, yeah.
Well, give us an example of your elevator pitch. Like, if I was just maybe a girl you were talking to in a coffee shop or something, what would you say? And I said, "Oh, what's a libertarian? What's that?"
Something along the lines of, we are people who support individual freedom, and we oppose any kind of government control in the sense that we want to be free to choose what we want to do, and we don't want people to tell us what we can and can't do, as long as it doesn't hurt other people.
Well, that sounds great. How could you argue with that?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's not like the basic pitch. It's people usually agree with something like that, but it's more of like the more educated people who are kind of anti-liberty that I'll talk to, and rather than having a constructive conversation, we'll have a big argument where it ends up like it's worse with my mom, where it's kind of just a screaming match where she's like, "Oh, you're so stupid. This is ridiculous."
All right. Well, Zach,
how do you deal with people like that?
Okay. Well, here's my opinion on how to do this, is because liberty is an individual thing. I mean, you just said it in what I thought was a really great pitch. And so you have to really, the best way to deliver it to people is for you to be as knowledgeable as possible. Not everybody's a great communicator. I'm not saying that you're not, but not everybody is. But the best thing you can have is just as much knowledge about pretty much anything that you can, like Mark was saying, be, brainiac, have the Wikipedia, all the good stuff. Okay. And because when you do that, when you have that much knowledge, you can find the ways, the pinholes that personally apply the values of liberty to the conversation that you're having. That said, the other point is that there are just some people who honestly are going to just get so frustrated at the end, especially if you're very educated about it and you've kind of got them cornered, proverbially, even if you're doing it in a nice way. It can be a problem.
You have to ask questions if you want somebody to come around. Your questions have to be framed well. You have to, of course, use the right tone of voice. This is extraordinarily important because, ultimately, we're just worried about what other people think about us. And if you're using the wrong tone of voice, you're the bad guy.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.